Bava Metziah Daf. We're holding now Omar Rabba. Not such to be boiling. Omar Rabba says, Nignavu, when the Tana says they were stolen, talking about that the item was stolen, Bilistim Mizuyon, with armed bandits. Avdu, when they said that they were lost, Shetavu Sfinasa Bayam, talking about with the Shliach's ship sank at sea. Since the shekels left his possession through circumstances beyond his control, this is considered an unavoidable accident, which the shemer is potter. If Echlam says how many, in accordance with whose opinion is this Mishnah, the Shimon he. So according to the Shimon, the Amr says Kosher of the Chai Bachriyosan, Kosher bears responsibility to replace them. Yesh Lam Mayna. And therefore one takes an oath concerning them. This works well if the contribution of the chamber has not yet been collected into the basket. That stage residents of the city bear responsibility to replace the shekels. And that is why Shimon deems the shliach liable to take a shua. Once the contribution of the chamber has been collected, the Kosher min chayav b'chaliyosan, Kosher not chayav b'chaliyosan. The time when the rice is terminal on the avud, one collects shekels in the gizbar with the intention of fulfilling the obligation of those coins that are lost on the way, al hagovli, and for those that are collected that do not yet arrive, al asaligways, and those that are destined to be collected. So the residents of the city no longer bear responsibility for these shekels. It's a rabbinic ordinance. So the people should not treat hektish with contempt. If they knew that there was no oath, they would just neglect the safeguard of shekels properly. The Mishnah teaches a paid shemer does not pay if these items were stolen or lost. Rami la Rabbi S Greenwald Rabba. Rabbi S Greenwald raised the contradiction before Rabba. Tanan, you learned in the Mishnah. This is sucker any mishalim. This is sucker does not pay. Ramino, or raises the contradiction from the Brisa. Seichas a pay lishmas apara. One who hires a day labor to wash the para. To ensure that's not disqualified. Lishmas atini, to wash the child to ensure that it remains tar from birth in order to draw water mixed with the ashes of the para. Lishmas azraim, or to safeguard the seeds from the barley that will be used for the carbon aver. And Nesam slays Char Shabbos. We do not give him wages on Shabbos. Therefore, in Achrayas Shabbos Alav, the items of the Sisachar, or the pail, was entrusted to wash the lost on Shabbos. Financial responsibility for their loss on Shabbos is not incumbent upon him, since it is not a shemer for that day. Now, Schir Shabbos, but if the labor hired for a week, Schir Chedesh hired for a month, Schir Shana hired for a year, Schir Shavua hired for 7 years. Basically, Shabbos, the one who hired him, gives him wages for labor performed on Shabbos as well. Fika, therefore, Achrayas Shabbos Alav. Therefore, if the item was lost on Shabbos, financial responsibility for the loss on Shabbos is incumbent upon him. My lav l'sham, was it not that he is chayav to pay for the loss he caused? As the list of the item being safeguarded includes consecrated items. This Brisa partly rules that a shemer pays responsibility for hektish. The Gemara says light. That's not the ruling of the Brisa. It's talking about lafsid schari with regards to forfeiting his wages because he was like a little bit negligent in safeguarding items that he was entrusted. It's the Gemara says Yochi. Hachanami, the hafsis chori. So my isli schar Shabbos. Well, what does he have wages for the work that he did on Shabbos? You don't give him wages on Shabbos. Clearly, the reference is the responsibility to pay for the safeguard items of themselves. Ishtik. Well, so the Rabba was sound. He didn't have what to answer. Amalei. Rabba says to Rabbi S Greenwald, Midi Shmi Lach Ba'ad. You heard anything regarding this? Amalei. So Yisrael said to him, Hachem Rav Sheshes. Sheshes B'Shekonim B'Yadei, where they performed a kinyan with one who hired them to reinforce the commitment. They performed an act of acquisition on him. Shimon says, Sacrificial animals for which one bears responsibility to replace them, or subject to halachas of no. Some of they do not be responsibility to replace them. There's no. Gemara says that the Tano taught the Mishnayos and the Brises and the study all taught the Brises before Reb Shimon Reb Yisrael bar Abba. And for an oath concerning sacrificial animals for which one bears responsibility, one is chayav to pay, bring an offering for taking a false oath. So I apply the phrase against the Lord and deals falsely. If an oath concerning sacrificial animals for which one does not bear responsibility, one is exempt, as I read, in their regard with his neighbor and deals falsely. This reading indicates that one who deals falsely in matters related to the Lord, sacrificial animals, is liable to bring an offering of a false oath. So Rabbi Yisrael said to him, Klap Elayah, isn't the opposite true? But the opposite is reasonable. The oath concerning sacrificial animals for which one does not bear responsibility is considered to be a matter related to the Lord even more than the oath concerning a sacrificial animal for which one bears responsibility, as in the latter cause is owned by a person in some respect. Amalei esmaya. Tana said to him, should I delete the brisa because it's corrupted? Amalei, don't delete it. Halchikam or katra shechai b'chayusan. He says that the sacrificial animal is for which one bears responsibility. Chayav is chayav. Misrabi mashem v'chichesh, as it's included in the pasuk against the Lord and deals falsely. Shenechai b'chayusan. The sacrificial animals that do not bear responsibility potter. Why the imam ba'amisa v'chichesh? It's excluded by the phrase of neighbors and deals falsely. Mishnah teaches, even in the case of one who sells a sefetera, a pearl or animal, those animals are not subject to halachas of no. Even somebody who sells sefetera in them, no, why the fish ain't cates to the mill? Because there's no limit to its value. The tater is priceless. Because a person who seeks to pair them, an animal is paired with an animal of similar strength, so they can be yoked together to work the field, and a pearl is paired with similar pearls to fashion jewelry. Since there's a need to obtain a specific variant of these items, one is not particular about the price. Amar Loi, the Bryce said, the Chacham said to him, isn't it the case that with regard to every person, a person seeks to pair them with similar items in these circumstances? Accordingly to our explanation, the halachas no would never apply. And what does Rabbi Yehuda respond? Hanich shivele. He claims that these are significant to a person, but they're not. These are not. In other words, particularly important. It is particularly important to find a precise match for animal and pearl. Bad kama, turning hack. Bad kama, or remember ad kama the maim, up to their double their value. Tanya Bidum said, when a person says a horse, a sword, or a helmet during wartime, these items are not subject to no, because they have Chai Nefesh. So the Mishnah. Test Amid days. The Mishnah says, so it was an Isser against Aino. It's also in cheating in business. Also, it's Aino B'Dvarim. Can't tell a person things that it's going to verbal mistreatment. One cannot say to the seller, for how much are you selling the item if he does not wish to purchase? He thereby upsets the seller when the deal fails to materialize. If one is about tshuva, don't say to him, well, remember your earlier deeds. Don't say, remember your deeds of your ancestors. It says, and a common shall not be neither mistreat nor shall you oppress. Chum taught, you shall not mistreat one man, his friend. The Torah says, speaking about a verbal mistreatment. It may be a means of money. When the Torah says, if you just sell your colleague an item that is sold or acquired from your colleague's hand, how do you ask him a moment? That's talking about cheating with money. So what am I learning by, and you shall not mistreat one man his friend? And as Tavarim, with regards to verbal mistreatment, okay, is it how so? If he was about tshuva, don't say don't say remember your earlier deeds. If he's again he wants to tell the mouth which ate these creatures and creeping animals comes to Sagittarius was stated that was stated from the Hashem. If the torments are afflicting a person, or if illnesses are affecting him, or God forbid he's bearing his children, do not say like his friends told Iyam, no, you're unlucky of it. Is it not your fear of Hashem, your confidence, and your hope, the integrity of your ways? Remember, I beseech whoever beseech and perish being innocent. Certainly you sin, as otherwise you would have not suffered misfortune. If donkey drivers are asking to purchase grain from someone, and he's not done so, he may not say to them, he may not say to them, go to so-and-so and he sells grain. If he knows that about him that he never sold grain at all. He causes the donkey driver and the would-be seller anguish. One may not cast his eyes on merchandise for sale, creating the impression that he's interested. When he doesn't have money, because this is something which is given to the heart. He shall fear Hashem. Greater is the transgression of verbal mistreatment, the transgression of monetary exploitation. Because here it says, and you shall fear Hashem. By money it does not say one is with the money, one is with one's body. In other words, the verbal mistreatment affects the body. Money affects only one's money. That you can pay back, but in verbal mistreatment it's not given restitution. Anybody who humiliates another in public is literally spilling blood. Rachman said to him, you have spoken well. It says, we see that after the humiliated person blushes, the red leaves his face and a pallor comes in place, which is tantamount to spilling blood. He said to him, with regard to one mitzvah that are particular in the careful Amalei, for humiliating others. Everyone descends the Gehenim except for three. Also for that, everyone who goes Alaima Kolel in the Gehenim Ridim. Even the descent to Gehenim ultimately ascends, because except three people. Somebody who marries has relations with the Ishidis, and somebody embarrasses somebody publicly. Shame and one who calls another derogatory name, it's identical to one who shames, so why they listed separate? I forgot the Dash Baby Shmei. The Gemara answers, although the victim grew accustomed to being called that name in his place, he is no longer humiliated by being called that name, since his Kolel was to insult him, the perpetrator's punishment is severe.